All right, I'm going to do a little VOD review here.
Things every turn. You have to have the answer as the Ezreal player essentially every turn.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Going to have to pour out the removal quickly and efficiently, as Rengar is going to be quite aggressive. Momsky, Bradykin, round number 9 of 13. Pack of Wonders early for Bradykin as he starts things out, getting that pack online. We talked about how important it will be to this Ezreal deck.
This is actually a fantastic start for Bradykin because this is going to enable most of the game plan. So being able to choose what you're developing going forward is really important, and that flourish is going to be important as well.
Goes the 5.
To initiate earlier from Momsky, not getting the draw there, no other units in play to get that might needed to draw a card, and the Deadly Flourish not only clears Momsky's board, but also gets that gold token to help offset some of these power costs later. As we go back over to Momsky, we'll once again look to develop these plethora of units that we can find in this deck.
Yeah, I think Momsky is just taking some time here to figure out which units you want to develop, because you do lose some value as a Rengar player when your opponent isn't playing units, because your ambush units lose their kind of surprise factor, and it feels like a waste to just develop them without using the ambush. That being said, I think I also wanted to go wide on
turn 2 Pike and
instead of just playing one big unit like the Kaiser that we saw.
Absolutely, being able to go wide is strong here. Try and avoid that 1-for-1 removal as we see Bradykin playing that Ezreal, discarding and drawing a couple cards. And we are going to see the Bellows Breath repeated, and that is going to clear that back.
Interesting.
Wow, great start here for Bradykin, just cleaning up this board each and every.
I think he wins this one, so it's going to be interesting how he comes about.
Repeat is something that has been a nightmare for opposing players ever since Spiritforged. Obviously, during the Miracle days, there was a lot of cost reduction tricks, but I think people sometimes just forget, as players have moved on to Diana, that Ezreal is still capable of these very efficient plays with the repeat spells.
Kaiser, Survivor coming out for Momsky, accelerated, moving into Emperor's Dais, getting that first point of the game, and that is going to be the turn.
Does he have a thrill? Yeah, he does.
Up to 7 runes.
Now, I will say, I liked the play from Momsky the previous turn of just accelerating the Kaiser at this stage. Everything you've played has been removed. You're starting to run low on cards. Ezreal is already activated and drawn 1 card. You see the Pack of Wonders. So at some point, you need to not only score points yourself, because that was the first point scored in the entire game, but also you just need to refill your hand. Like, you need those cards. Now, I will say, there was potentially an argument.
Oh, he doesn't know whether to drop the...
Bouncing your own Kaiser back to prevent her from dying to removal. There could have been a play pattern where the Rengar just keeps accelerating units to the dais and then returning it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Could do that. With that new ruling on Emperor's Dais, you
got 6 mana open.
For no energy, you would not get.
He's going to play thrill
at that battlefield, but nevertheless could be effective at just continuing to cycle the accelerated units, as you mentioned. Kaisa's able to get that card every single time she conquers, so you go in, you get that point, you get the card. But right now, it's 3 might to 3 might at this northern battlefield. And let's see the reaction from Momsky.
Oh, thank you. My apologies.
Judge just giving a reminder that the Ezreal Legend is readied, and we are going to see the thrill.
Going to which battlefield?
So that thrill is going to banish Kaiser.
Yeah, I was going to say that you don't have to announce where the move goes until it resolves, and you do want to make sure it resolves because Ezreal can run hard bargain.
Let's see where this Kaiser goes. Can put it on either battlefield. Could try and sneak this extra point here at Sigil of the Storm.
I would put it there, yeah, for sure.
Finishes first. I pass focus. I go to 1.
All right, so Bradykin will get on the board.
Showdown, you focus first.
We'll see if there's any response at this southern battlefield from Bradykin.
He's going to bounce it.
5 might Kaiser after that Pridestalker trigger. Bradykin going to dig for some options with that stack deck.
And Momsky, I think, decided to go to the Sigil, both because of the points, but also because you are trying to force a big spell like a Star-Crossed if they want to stop that conquer. A lot of the Ezreal stuff kind of caps out at either 3 or 4 damage, so by playing Thrill of the Hunt, getting the Legend trigger, you go up to 5. It's going to require something like a Star-Crossed to interrupt it.
Starcross, great spot here, because not only does it bounce the Kaiser back to Momsky's hand, but Bradykin will be able to re-utilize that Ezreal Prodigy and dig for more.
You can just play Kaiser again.
Getting an extra card as well off the Legend activated ability, because Bradykin did choose units twice that turn.
Yeah, I will say the good news for Momsky is right now, the cards in hand is still pretty high. So far, Bradykin has not been able to kind of win the attrition war. The downside is the score is 1-1. And the later this game goes, I think the more that it obviously favors the Ezreal player, because we already have the Pack of Wonders, and as soon as Bradykin kind of assembles the rest of the combo pieces, Momsky will not be able to keep up with the value. So again, I like this play. You accelerate the Kaiser, you get the points. It was just returned with the Star-Cross. I will say, once again, there is maybe an argument to be made about returning it with the dais, but at the end of the day, leaving the Might developed is still going to force a response. Oh, he is going to take my advice. Okay.
Yeah, just thinking that one through, but we'll trigger that Emperor's Dais, so Kaiser being bounced back for no energy, but no Sandstorm.
Okay, so he bounced it.
2-1 for Momsky. We go back over to Bradykin. And you're
Oh man, so Kaiser just got a lot better with that one too.
It's on Mom's Guy to put big pressure here.
Yeah, I
Something to
don't
think
use
about.
from Mom's Guy at all. The reason I like just keep accelerating the Kaisa and then bouncing it is unless Bradykin has an answer in the showdown step or forces them to go over the top of something with some sort of hold, which we know the Ezrealists don't do very well, you're essentially just going to score points and draw cards every turn by playing the Kaisa to the dais, rinse and repeat. So we are going to
see that flourish. Okay, so once again, Bradykin, he's not leaving any units in play. I don't think Mom's Guy has started a turn with units in play.
Well, and again, that's why I like this idea of just continuing to rinse and repeat this Kaisa onto the dais.
Yeah.
In many ways, what you're doing is you're doing a build my own pack of wonders, right? Mom, can we get pack of wonders? No, we have pack of wonders at home, and it's Emperor's Dais plus Kaisa.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. Let's rinse and repeat the Kaisa Survivor back into Emperor's Dais. This would be the third point. Indeed, it is. 3-1 the score in favor of Mom's Guy, drawing another card off of Kaisa. So very nice here, that Kaisa getting some really good card advantage. So does mean that the Bewitching Spirit wouldn't be quite as valuable right now as this Kaisa just continues to get some really nice value for Mom's Guy.
Now, there is another Kaisa in hand, so at this point, if Mom's
So he's just bouncing the Kaisa.
and that's what Mom's Guy is going to do. And the reason for that is because now you want to force Bradykin to keep responding to what's out there, but still have the Kaisa next turn. Because what's happening
Off
right
the
now
Kaisa.
is every time Bradykin answers the units, you'll notice that Bradykin is also expending energy, which means he's not conquering himself. So Mom's Guy is just going to try to collect points and force cards out from Bradykin, and then eventually get to a point where if you're at 6, you can set up a double conquer for the win. But this is, I think, a solid game plan
With the
for
list.
Mom's Guy. This pickup of a list is huge for Bradykin, though.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Naming the Void. So the list will give Kaisa -2 might.
Naming the void, minus her to 1.
And replaying the list because it gets bounced back with the Pack of Wonders. So that's -4 might on Kaisa. Does still have that 1 might thanks to the buff from the Pit rookie that came out last turn from Mom's Guy. But now Stupefy being played as well.
Okay, so this is kind of signaling a Bellows Breath. I would expect that to be the play here.
And it is Bellows Breath repeated, taking out both of these units.
It is not a it's not a response yet. It's
Yeah.
a ability.
Little confusion there, so Bradykin had definitely targeted more than twice. It was already online just from the list bounce and replay, but Mom's Guy, not correct. It is a trigger. It's not a trigger that you have to take when it happens. It is just online, and then you can exhaust the Ezreal as a reaction at any point for the rest of the turn and draw the card.
Well, the trend continues for Mom's Guy, once again starting the turn with no units in play. Bradykin
Got
has
another Kaisa.
successfully dealt with this board each and every time. Just asking, how many cards do you have in your hand?
Over and over.
Yeah, the players kind of comparing hand sizes and realizing they're both doing the same thing, which is, you know, playing cards but then drawing cards, rinse and repeat. Again, this pickup of the list, though, I can't express how big this is for Bradykin. Mostly because
He's used 2 of the Bellows.
energy in that Pack of Wonders, like exhausting every turn.
He's just
Give something -4 and draw a card, and that is going to be every turn. Now you can't do it at reaction speed or action speed. It has to be on the turn of Bradykin, but that means that Mom's Guy almost has no way of keeping anything alive long term.
I'm going to Eclipse her.
And now we see that Kaisa
Ice Predict.
coming down, the second copy moving into Emperor's Dais, looking to conquer once again, but Eclipse will give Kaisa -4 might.
You can go bottom.
And the Predict going through, Bradykin shipping that top card of the main deck to the bottom.
You regain focus. Do you do anything with it?
And looks like focus is being passed back over to Bradykin. And Gust is going to attempt to bounce Kaisa back.
So we'll see if there's another response here.
We're going to Inferna here at the Emperor's Dais before Kaisa is bounced, so that leaves a unit there at Emperor's Dais. And Mom's Guy will successfully conquer up to 4, halfway home
Bounce
here
out.
in game 1.
And that's the power of the Inferno card, because yes, you've got the assault, but the ambush.
Dang, I actually kind of like this a lot.
Use these 1-for-1 removal options during a showdown. You can ambush it in for the low cost of just 2 energy and kind of secure the conquer point. So Mom's Guy, I think, had a wonderful turn there. This is going to be an uphill battle, but because they were able to still get the point and end the turn with might on the board, they're once again going to force Bradykin to spend some sort of cards here. The downside is that the cards are just going to be replenished. Again, this Pack of Wonders plus the list, or Pack of Wonders plus Bellows, or whatever the case may be, you're always going to be able to draw an extra card per turn if you're Bradykin.
Yeah, this combo is just
Did he?
absolutely crazy here. That pack plus the list, and with Ezreal getting that card, but now the combo is just
Or whatever the case may be, Pack of Wonders plus the list, or Pack of Wonders plus Bellows, or whatever the case may be, you're always going to be able to draw an extra card per turn if you're Bradykin.
yeah, this combo is just
Did he pay the
absolutely
power?
crazy here. That pack plus the list, and
If you're Bradykin.
yeah, this combo is just absolutely crazy here. That pack
Plus the list, or Pack of Wonders plus Bellows, or what. Again, this Pack of Wonders plus the list, or Pack of Wonders plus Bellows, or whatever the case may be, you're always going to be able to draw an extra
Didn't.
card per turn if you're Bradykin.
Oh,
Yeah, this combo is
In
absolutely crazy here. That pack plus
Oh.
the list, and with Ezreal getting that card. But now the Bewitching Spirit comes out as we see Mom's Guy discarding the Determined Sentry, and a second pack is down as well. Bradykin replaying the Bewitching Spirit, shredding that hand for Mom's Guy as we see Inferna discarded as well.
oh, what a nail biter.
Bradykin with Ezreal just slowly taking away all of the options from Mom's Guy.
Yeah, we are essentially a turn and a half away from Momsky playing strictly from the top deck because of 2 Pack of Wonders and the Found Bewitching Spirit. If Momsky does not have a way to deal with the Spirit, and this is a window of opportunity because there's no energy available to Bradykin. If you had some sort of targeted removal or a way to get rid of it, then you would buy yourself some time until the next Bewitching Spirit is found. But now that it is online, Momsky has to know I either need to score 2 points now and 2 points the next turn, or just understand I'm playing from the top deck for the rest of the game. So we're going to see this Kai'Sa come down. It will likely, once again, go to the dais.
Yep, you got a 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get that card.
Cycling.
And,
Kai'Sa.
uh,
And we desperately need cards now that this Bewitching Spirit is online. So up to 5 goes
Yeah.
Mom's Guy.
So I think what you're looking for here, if you're Mom's Guy, is something like a challenge where you could use that to get rid
That
of
makes
the
sense.
Spirit with your Kai'Sa. But I don't.
He's deciding whether he wants to.
There are some in the main deck, but I have not seen one pop up yet.
He could play Kai'Sa again.
Mom's Guy still has 5 ready runes, 4 cards in hand after conquering there with Kai'Sa.
Mom's Guy has to be thinking, I'm so close to getting into position, because the other thing we have to remember is Mom's Guy does have that Bryn here in hand.
Yep, that's
and
absolutely
a great way when you're trying to get to that double conquer turn from, 6 to 8 to kind of ensure that you'll be able to make it happen. The problem is, again, with that Bewitching Spirit and double Pack of Wonders combo there, will Mom's Guy have enough cards in hand to kind of protect it? So I actually really like this. Just sending the Kai'Sa in twice, you're going to draw 2 more cards, but you're also, again, very importantly, going to be at 6 points to set up a double conquer. Bradykin is in a great position to try to stabilize here, but because he is so far behind in points and because he lacks the board presence right now, he's got to make sure that he plays perfectly for the rest of the game.
5. All right.
Absolutely. Mom's Guy up to 6. And really all thanks to
We really want to get to that 6 point.
No energy there. Again, it's not a part of the cost to finalize that trigger on the chain. So Kai'Sa really being used to great advantage. And now Mom's Guy in striking distance. Let's see what Bradykin has for us here. Still only 1 point, but just trying to slowly get through these threats and get this in-game state deployed. Thousand-Tailed Watcher is the play for Bradykin. And it is going to be accelerated into the sigil.
I got a 2. I recycle a rune.
Kai'Sa goes down.
I will go here. Pass one.
And now
I got
Bradykin
3.
moving into the Emperor's
I will
Dais with that
not
Bewitching Spirit. And he'll take advantage of being able to
Play
bounce the
this
Spirit
here.
back. Up to 3 points for Bradykin. He reinforces the southern battlefield.
List to hand. Pass to you.
And just going to pass it over with 4 runes up. So Mom's Guy will have to be aware of the possible interaction here. Pass moving into the Emperor's Dais with that Bewitching Spirit. And he'll take advantage of being able to bounce the Spirit back. Up to 3 points for Bradykin. He reinforces the southern battlefield
List to hand.
to
Play
bounce the
this
Spirit
here.
back. Up to 3 points for Bradykin with it.
All right.
Kai'Sa goes down.
I will go
Oh,
here
yeah.
and pass to you.
And just going to pass it
He
over
didn't-
with 4 for Bradykin.
he bounced
Bewitching
the-
Spirit, and he'll take advantage of being able to bounce the
Oh, right. With
No, that was a very well-timed Watcher from Bradykin, because it doesn't just get rid of the opposing units, it does represent a large amount of might. So that plus the Ezreal on a battlefield is going to make it that much more difficult for Mom's Guy to get a double conquer. And because of the way that the Ezreal deck plays, if Mom's Guy instead just takes the dais and tries to pile on might there for the hold, Bradykin likely has a number of answers, has probably drawn half of the deck at this point, so it can pick and choose whatever you want. There's also anything that's already been played, like a Starcross, for example. You know that you have to account for Bradykin likely having Fizz in the hand, so you can get those back. So Mom's Guy, even though they're at 6, I don't think they can rely on going to 7 and trying to hold. It has to be a double conquer, but that 10 might that is on the sigil right now is a lot to go over. And then when you factor in, of course, the 4 energy available for Bradykin, you're also still playing around cards like Starcross from hand.
Definitely a tough situation here for Mom's Guy.
Triple discard, though. That's the question.
Just trying to see what possible units he has.
he's pretty much at 12. He can
Kai'Sa is still
play 3 and bounce
As
3.
you mentioned, holding's going to be extremely difficult. He hasn't been able to keep any units in play at this point.
So the interesting bit is, I just heard Mom's Guy say, I don't know what I want to hold through a triple discard. So I think Mom's Guy is understanding I can't double conquer this turn. So whatever I do, assuming Brady does a triple Bewitching Spirit the next turn, what am I going to have left after that? So just trying to navigate not just this turn, but also the following turn and the effects of it. And so that's why we're seeing
Yes.
just the Fae Folk come down, the rest of the cards held in hand to protect from the Bewitching Spirit.
Yeah, the double pack of wonders with the Bewitching Spirit, just crazy. And we're going to see the Spirit at the southern battlefield as the Hopeful gets discarded. It's down to just 4 cards in hand for Mom's Guy.
Pack replay. Spirit.
And so this is
theory.
exactly what Mom's Guy was worried about, where you're seeing Bewitching Spirit come down for the 2nd time this turn. Gonna get rid of the Ferris Forerunner. And
Ferris.
here comes
That's
Bewitching
good
Spirit
pick.
number 3. So Mom's Guy properly identifying.
Spirit,
Oh,
Fae Folk.
We're also gonna
star-crossed instead. Looking to bounce back that Faithful. I think Momsky here trying to figure out, okay, how many runes am I going to have to play with next turn? Has the Darius in hand. We know about Kaiser.
I think this is a very good play from Bradykin. Even though it looks unassuming, it's just one might. The Feyfolk is something you want to get off the board if you can help it, because if it were to drag the Ezreal over, it might make breaking the might on the sigil that much easier. So you don't want to have a situation where the Feyfolk pulls one of the units to the dais and then you ambush in something like a Rengar or another
Got
unit
in Italy.
victory and then Thrilla the Hunt to the other side. This is definitely a heads-up play from Bradykin to identify the ways that they could break through this battlefield, and instead of being greedy and going for the guaranteed triple bewitching, instead played it twice and then opted for the Star-Crossed and then still leaves energy up for responses.
Yes.
Rengar Trophy Hunter, the chosen champion for Momsky, still sits in that chosen champion zone.
What a nail biter.
Momsky to work with here. Do we finally see the chosen champ making an appearance?
Rough.
A difficult situation. Rough is how he describes it.
Worried about the round timer because we're already past 20.
Here comes the Trophy Hunter down into the Sigil of the Storm. Can be played
All right.
the battlefield
You
where
go
those
first.
enemy units are
Give him
located.
+1.
7 might chosen champion.
That's right, because of the Legend Trigger, jumps up to 7, so potentially trying to just trade with this Watcher. You know, thinking about cards that Momsky hasn't seen yet. Not only has he not seen challenges, but I don't believe I've seen a punch first roll through yet either, which would have been likely very welcome here.
And it is just going to be the trade. Watcher for the Rengar. Momsky will look to develop further. Was contemplating another ambush there. Does have Nidalee
Well,
in hand.
I was going to say, it doesn't have to be an ambush. It can just be this Darius. It's the second card played, but it sees itself, so this Darius will essentially enter ready as a 7-might unit, and that will
I will Star-Cross.
start to threaten.
There's the
Ezreal.
Star-Crossed to bounce
There it is.
Darius back that tried to take over Sigil. Strong play for Bradykin.
5 cards in hand.
We go back over to Bradykin's turn once again.
Channel.
No units for Momsky.
Okay,
We'll
so
have to plan once again.
the good news if you're Momsky
Spirit.
is that's the third Star-Crossed. The bad news is you're going to have almost no cards left in hand, and there is still fizzes you have to worry about. Now, the fizz cannot be done at reaction speed, so you don't have to worry about those Star-Crossed interrupting you during the showdowns. There are still plenty of other removal options at action speed that Bradykin will have access to, but that is at least a big hill that you have now climbed and crossed over by getting through all 3 of the Star-Crossed at reaction speed.
With the Darius, right?
Well, there we go. It was the triple Bewitching Spirit turn with the 2 Pack of Wonders.
And he has
And here
it.
it is, Darius and
Oh,
and there's
wow.
Momsky to conquer both, accelerating the Kaiser. Darius, the second.
Okay.
He's readied up. He can go and conquer. The double conquer turn for Momsky. What an opening game, because it seemed as though Bradykin had that inevitability. But Momsky was patient and found the time to pounce.
Hey,
Well, like I
see,
said, the good news was you got through all the Star-Crossed.
Yeah.
So that meant that while they were still available through a fizz, there's nothing at reaction. It also was a turn in which Bradykin had to expend all of their energy, so they had nothing up. You knew that you had the window, and I think that the important piece here is Momsky correctly identified what the game plan was from Bradykin, went with those Kaisas on the dais early to keep the hand up, because otherwise you wouldn't have had that ability to play 2 cards that late in the game. The Spirits would have stripped it significantly sooner. So this was a great game navigated from Momsky.
Here we go, game 2 of our round 9 feature matches underway. Bradykin started out with that stack deck as the Faithful comes down for Momsky and is met instantly with that deadly flourish. Irresistible Faithfolk, no more. Gold created for Bradykin.
Just chuckling at some of the player banter there. Brady said your best friend is gone, and Momsky said that's unbelievably rude.
that was pretty smart.
Yeah, that's just too much. Here we go.
All right.
Double unit play for Momsky. Pit Rookie will buff up the Grim Apothecary.
So he starts with Apothecary, Buffett, Pit Rookie.
Game 2 of the series that we need to pay attention to. That is the timer, because
How did that start?
just chuckling at
With that deadly flourish. Irresistible Faithfolk, no more. Comes down for Momsky and is
Oh, Faithful.
chuckling at some of the player banter there. Brady said your best friend is gone, and Momsky said that's unbelievably rude.
Yeah, that's just too much. Here we go.
All right.
Double unit play for Momsky. Pit Rookie will buff up the Grim Apothecary.
I will play.
There is something that's going to be really important for this game 2 of the series that we need to pay attention to.
Aspirants.
That is the timer. Because Bradykin knows these games go long as the control player, and this is an aspirant's climb game, Bradykin trying to get some additional time to make sure that the combo comes online. This means that if this runs long, they might have a hard time finishing game 3, so I expect, and we're kind of seeing it now, players to play much faster in the early going. The one other thing that I would like to mention is that the dais is gone. That was a big part of the victory for Momsky in game 1. You do have Seed of Power, you can still draw cards off of a double conquer, but that's much harder to do against a deck like Ezreal than simply going to one location over and over.
Oh, yeah, and you can ambush unit.
Apothecary down to the Aspirant's climb, and there's the gust when Pit Rookie moves into Seed of Power.
I will stupefy the Apothecary trigger as legend.
Nice little combination here for Bradykin to stupefy that Apothecary to get the card off of that Ezreal Legend. Just kind of slowing down some of the momentum for Momsky. denying that extra card off of Seat of Power.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be very important because the only reason Momsky was able to take game 1 was from having so many cards in hand from that Deus and Kai'Sa combo. Seat of Power, again, you can draw cards from, but you have
7.
to be present at both battlefields. That was something that Momsky did not do often in game 1, and I find
You can see the nerves on these characters,
in
these
game 2
players.
already with the early gust.
We see Pit Rookie being replayed.
Play my monk. Drop.
And the Monk here actually going to get a card. We do have 5 might between those other units on Momsky's side of the board.
Channel 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Kinko Initiate has been such a wonderful addition for body decks with Unleashed. Body decks prior really struggled to find any sort of card draw, and while this is conditional, it doesn't require a power, and it generates might, so it's everything you want if you're playing body as a domain.
Ooh, watch out, we've got Thousand-Tailed Watcher for Bradykin. Each of these units for Momsky.
Bellows.
3 might for the turn. Does he have that Bellows
Stick
Breath?
Bellows on the 2 guys
He
in the back.
does. Bellows Breath is going to target these guys on the back line.
Yeah.
Momsky's board threatened here. The back line is down.
That's
Swing in here,
huge
focus.
for Brady.
Massive. As Ezreal can move in now and threaten to clear the board once again.
7.
Just 2 runes left open for Momsky. Does have that Thrill in hand.
Yeah,
He
it's
wants to keep a unit in play.
It's such a powerful card that it feels sometimes bad using it in situations like this. However, as you pointed out, you're not just keeping a unit in play, you're also scoring another point this turn and then another one from the hold because you know Bradykin has no other options right now. All of the runes have been exhausted. Oh, instead is just
Ooh.
here. So saying I would rather get rid of the Ezreal instead of scoring an additional point. You will get the hold still. You'll go from 1 to 2, but you had the option to go to Seat of Power, score there, and then go from 2 to 3. I think Momsky said, I'm tired of this Ezreal reducing your costs.
Absolutely.
Let's just get
How
rid of it.
interesting.
Reducing
Ain't
those
there to
additional
kill the
costs and
Ezreal.
Also potentially generating extra cards if it gets bounced back. Here comes Kai'Sa Survivor, the MVP of game 1 for Momsky. Moving to Seat of Power will score to 3, and we're going to draw 2 cards here. One off of the...
I like the amount of card draw in this deck quite a bit.
Knowing that the Kai'Sa play was coming, I now understand why they decided to just get rid of the Ezreal. Now, if you're watching at home and you're saying, okay, well, you could have still sent Apothecary to Seat and then sent Kai'Sa over the Ezreal, and then still got rid of the Ezreal, right? But the difference here is you get to draw an additional card by having the Kai'Sa conquer the Seat. If the Apothecary was already on the Seat and you conquered the other side, you only get to draw from the Kai'Sa.
Now we go back over to Bradykin. He's staring down 3 units for Momsky as Thousand-Tailed Watcher is going to start a showdown with Kai'Sa. That's 7 might to 5 might in favor of Bradykin.
Show me the -4.
Here comes that punch first. +5 might would be the number on Kai'Sa. And it is Eclipse that will give the Kai'Sa -4. So the Watcher has enough might to break through and conquer the first
Ooh.
Bradykin here in game number 2. Both of these players looking to remain undefeated here in Hartford.
So I will say I'm very impressed with Momsky. As we listen to the player comms, every time he does something or goes into an interaction, he's already predicting what Bradykin's going to do. In that instance, if you were listening, he said, show me the -4, and there it was. And earlier, he was like, you're going to be rude and gust me now. And then Bradykin gusted him. So he's very clearly used to this matchup. Perhaps maybe used to it with Diana being across the table, but it's still something where you can tell a lot of reps into this card pool have been played.
And now Bradykin able to develop the Vex
6.
at that northern battlefield with the Thousand-Tailed Watcher. So this is a little bit of a problem for Momsky. Each of these units being played will be stunned while Vex is at the battlefield. Another Kinku Initiate will come out, getting a card, buffing up the Apothecary off that Pridestalker trigger.
Now, that's actually a very important buff on the Apothecary. There's only 1 energy available to Bradykin. That makes the Apothecary go above gust range, and now by playing a second unit, you have the option to go in and get rid of the Vex. Yes, you're going to lose your unit, but getting rid of the Vex is so important that this is a very worthy trade.
Absolutely. So we get the Vex Apathetic off, but Gust is going to bounce back that Pit Rookie.
Yes.
And you have 8, it's going to be 10, so...
But something that has been pretty rare for Momsky.
Good.
Yeah, playing around that Gust, making sure you get rid of the Vex. I'm so impressed with the way that Momsky navigates.
This is a way slower game than last time.
There's enough cards in hand for when the spirits are going to be impactful to making sure that you get rid of the key cards at the moment that you need to.
Sure, as legends.
Against my rabbits.
Bellows Breath, taking out that Irresistible Fae Folka damage to the Initiate. Able to draw off that Ezreal Legend once again. Here comes
Another Watcher.
another Thousand-Tailed Watcher for Bradykin. And that is going to be enough to take out the backline for Momsky. As the other Watcher moves back, it's 3-2, going back over to Momsky. Board
What a
wiped.
crazy control deck.
Thousand-Tailed Watchers in the backline. That is not something you love to see.
Yeah, and if you're watching at home and you're kind of curious about that interaction, maybe you're new to Riftbound, the damage put on the Bellows Breath stays and does not clear until a combat happens. When the Thousand-Tailed Watcher comes down and gives the -3 might to a minimum of 1, that means that the Kinku Initiate goes to 1 might and then has 1 damage still on it, which is enough to kill it. So you do not have to die from the damage right away. You can combine it with minus effects like that. It's a neat interaction. So keep an eye out for it.
Double Star Cross.
Coming out for Momsky as we look at a double Star-Cross hand.
Oh,
Bradykin.
We're gonna shoot
it's a double Star-Cross hand, but also this is the second time this weekend on a broadcast that we have seen that Angler Beast come
Yes.
in from people's sideboards. That scary fish is apparently the new tech for maybe dealing with some of these go wide decks. Again, maybe predicting popularity increases from Azir or Victor after their performances in Utrecht.
Yeah, that Angler Beast so good against the tokens.
I mean, you're looking at right now, it's going to likely come down and just bounce this board.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, because both units developed on the back line for Momsky. Just 2 might total right now after that buff from Pit Rookie. But Bradykin has the Thousand-Tailed Watcher moving in.
Ooh.
He'll score a couple points.
I trigger seat.
The Vex reinforcing the Aspirant's Climb, a card off of Seed of Power. And Bradykin into the points lead for the first time in this match. And there's the Angler Beast.
He's probably going to take
Pit
this
Rookie
one.
and the Sentry back to
Double
Momsky
Vex is
again. And
hard.
look at these battlefields. 12 might and 11 might, respectively.
Because of 6 next
Presented
turn.
at the battlefields for Bradykin, and this is getting tougher and tougher for Momsky. Bradykin, of course, playing against that clock, as you mentioned. Need to try to lock this game 2 up.
Yeah, the big difference between Game 1 and Game 2 is that in Game 2, these Watchers have given Bradykin actual might on the board to work with. Game 1, for
Ezreal's
a large
so-
part of the game,
so
it was
such a
simply
pain
Ezreal
to
and
deal
or
with.
the Witching Spirit. And yes, you can get some points or try to conquer with those, but you're not really going over the top of things. That means you're relying on removal and then maybe sneaking them in. That's why we saw that Bradykin was at one point for a large portion of Game 1. Here in Game 2, getting the big might units means that you can be aggressive, and we're already seeing Bradykin all the way up to 6.
At 6. And Momsky just fully developing on that last turn to try and make a big push on the next turn. Bewitching Spirit, gonna rip a card, and there's only 2 in hand. And it's a double Bewitching Spirit. No runes open for Momsky, no hand left.
Oh, man.
Passing over. Massive amounts of might. Bradykin threatening to win here with a double hold.
Yeah, now we are seeing Momsky playing from the top deck. It's not where you want to be. Momsky was very
This
good.
is not good.
Was not the game state that he entered. Actually did, I think, a very good job of trying to avoid it here in Game 2, but again, unfortunately, with Bradykin finding both Watchers, being able to get the Watchers Bellow combo off at least once early on to slow down the board presence of Momsky, meant you had to commit more cards to the board, and we have just hit the natural attrition stage.
Sure, I pass.
Okay, so we're moving into Aspirant's Climb.
Sure.
13 might in total for Bradykin there. The Bewitching Spirit and the Vex fall. Thousand-Tailed Watcher left alone, but Vex off the board, which means that Momsky can play units and they will not be stunned immediately when playing them. The Rengar Trophy Hunter still in the back line, moving in to start a showdown with that Thousand-Tailed Watcher at Aspirant's Climb. Here comes the Apothecary, ambushed in. +1 might
Again.
for Rengar.
All right, I will.
It's
Now-
going to be 8 might to 7 in total.
If you're wondering what's happening here, the Apothecary went ambushed in, gave the Thrill of the Hunt trigger, or not Thrill of the Hunt, excuse me, the Pridestalker trigger from the Legend of Rengar, and then he returned just the Apothecary back and replayed it. So that's why it went from +1 to +2, and why you saw the 6 energy expended. To kind of shortcut it, but
Hold to
if you're
7.
wondering, that's what the interaction
Shield
was.
2.
The Starcross unfortunately stops
Discard the Apothecary.
the Conquer from Momsky, and now Bradykin is just back to ripping cards from the hand of Momsky is already
That's
Yeah.
going to do
Yeah, it was
We are
over.
going to Game 3.
Got him
Bradykin
locked in.
sending us to a decider.
Locked down,
Players
I mean.
looking to remain undefeated, and it's worth noting that both of
That was a rough one.
top 6
You hate to
teams
see
here
it
at a
happen.
Regional qualifier. These are seasoned players at this point. They are familiar with this pressure on day 2. And for Game 3,
Frozen
the
Fortress,
interesting
huh?
cover, we've got the
Oh,
Arenas
that is
going
really
for
good with blue.
Momsky. And Bradykin will be playing with the Frozen Fortress, so this game will be a little bit quicker with that Arena's Greatest.
Yeah, this is, I think, going to be the tightest of the 3 games. Game 1, we saw Momsky use that dais to make sure that the hand was always full. Game 2, with Bradykin both going first and having Aspirant's Climb, meant that Momsky had a slower start by going second, as well as had to score more points to try to win. But now Momsky is back on going first and has Arena's Greatest. If the Momsky can get units down, like we're seeing with this double Pit Rookie, and get some points early, stay on the board, Momsky could take this. Bradykin's going to need to have every gust or every answer at the moment that it's needed. We're going to see a stack deck now, and again, this is likely looking for a gust if there's not already one in hand, because these early points are critical.
Another stack deck.
Yeah, the double Pit Rookie start here from Momsky. Double
you gotta make it
stack deck for Bradykin as that Pit Rookie will conquer at the Northern Battlefield. 2 early points here
Hey,
for Momsky.
we know Fizz is at the bottom.
Happy about that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was such a back-breaking double stack deck to not find the single gust.
I do like the
Start
Noxus
they,
Hopeful.
got on the battlefield, but on top of
Just
that,
feel like
two
it's
units in base, one of them also
a bummer that there's no
that was catastrophic for
Falling Stars.
Yeah, you're
Of
absolutely
course, this deck doesn't really run Falling Stars.
Bradykin will continue to dig a little bit here. The Stupefy will give the Pit Rookie -1, drawing a card, and there's the Wages of Pain to clear the Arena's Greatest. And Bradykin going to create a gold. All 3 stacked deck early here in this game, but Momsky has the green light. No ready runes for Bradykin and 2 units in that back line.
3 stack decks in a row. That's really good.
Absolutely going to be a double conquer turn. Also
Ooh.
the sabotage. So you get to see what you have to play around going forward, and you see something that is a big green light. There is no units in the hand of Bradykin. There is
Oh, so
wages.
you really want to take rid of
representative of you
Right fountain.
are just temporary. So when I'm looking at this, I really feel like the choices are either star-crossed or the Sprite Fountain. The Sprite Fountain because it's their only way to contest on a battlefield. Yep, and that's the choice.
Yep.
And I was just about to say,
Yep.
when you see those 2 copies of the list, even your hopeful is still going to be too small to actually hold. So I really like getting rid of the only source of actual might in the hand of Bradykin.
The great start continues for Momsky. Exactly what he wanted here in this game 3 as the pit rookie will move in first to the southern battlefield up to 3 points. Goes Momsky. Where's the hopeful? Still available to get that 4th point at the arena's greatest, and we'll see how Momsky develops further
They're both at 5.
these double conquers here.
Now, the one kind of weird thing that you have to play around is you do know Bradykin still has the Bellows and the 2 copies of the list. So you don't want to put yourself in a situation where a repeated Bellows plus list activations is a complete blowout, and that's why we're going to see only 1 unit at each location. It is the safest way to play around the list Bellows combo.
So here we go, the list coming out, calling Bilgewater, and with that damage from the Frozen Fortress.
Oh, wow, that's such a good...
Getting a damage dealt at the start of each
That's good tech.
pit rookie with the might being reduced is killed, and the battlefield cleared.
Using the list in combination with Frozen Fortress to kind of make it impossible to hold is a wonderful combo for Bradykin as this game progresses. Again,
I don't think he's going to play with any units.
try to force a double conquer every turn.
He's just going to have to try to control until he gets some units.
I am concerned at this point about Momsky's cards in hand. So far, the start has been everything Momsky wants in terms of playing units, getting them on battlefields, rinse, repeat, get your points. But I believe Momsky is starting to get very low because we haven't seen cards like Kai'Sa to get those cards back.
So now Gust attempting to bounce back that hopeful after the Stupefy did bring that Noxus hopeful at the battlefield to 3 might.
Oh, I think that's a Thrill of the Hunt in
Just
the hand,
thrill.
which might be a consideration just to save the unit because you're so low on cards.
Definitely contemplating the
Yeah,
play.
I
Also
would
has the
thrill.
Inferno in hand as well, but the bounce will go through. Hopeful back to Momsky's hand. Ezreal,
Oh, he's going to let him burn.
legend ability used a card, and here comes the Vex in the back line for Bradykin, finally able to develop a unit here in game 3.
And I think that was a Kai'Sa Survivor that was just picked up from Momsky, which will help with potentially the card problem. Might consider accelerating at this turn because it's the only turn you'll be able to do it. You have to assume Vex is going to land on a battlefield next turn.
Mm-hmm.
The window of opportunity there currently, and as you mentioned, could be closing very soon. And also, Bradykin, no runes up right now for any interaction.
We'll go here.
Sure.
Yeah, I like
to the fortress.
Like the hopeful to the fortress here because if you're going to accelerate this Kai'Sa, you don't want Kai'Sa on the fortress. You want them to expend more resources to try to get rid of it. It's not likely going to stick around. There is also an argument to be made about not doing the Kai'Sa. But again, with this being your only window of opportunity to get the accelerate off, it's really hard to turn that down, especially when you're so short on cards at this stage of the game.
Yeah, just 4 cards left in hand for Momsky. We know the Kai'Sa's there, has another hopeful and Inferno in hand, and you can see Bradykin just itching here. He knows the clock is ticking, and he's way behind in points, so he knows that he needs to get through this game quickly if he wants any chance to get into overtime.
So the other option here for Momsky with the Kai'Sa
What a nail biter.
in hand, you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runes. You could accelerate the Kai'Sa to the greatest, and then if Bradykin takes the bait and deals with the Frozen Waste or Frozen Fortress, excuse me, first.
It does feel like slow playing the clock, please.
And Bradykin mentioning that this feels like slow playing, which is a valid mention because right now, if they go to the overtime rules, there would have been a victory to Momsky because he's up by 2. What I was
Pretty
gonna say is
smart,
if the Kai'Sa
yeah.
was accelerated, you'd still have up for the Thrill, and then that could go to the other spot and get a conquer on the opponent's turn. But didn't accelerate Kai'Sa, decided to just leave 3 up instead.
So Wages of Pain, the play for Bradykin, would be 3 damage to the Noxus Hopeful. And the Thrill of the Hunt comes out, the signature spell for Rengar, and Hopeful is moving into the arena's greatest, getting that additional might from the Pridestalker trigger. And we conquer up to 6 for Momsky. In striking distance here in game 3. A second list coming down. Noxus is the tag name. And here comes Vex into that northern battlefield. It's enough to take down the shrunk Noxus Hopeful. Bradykin up to 2 points. Kai'Sa remains in the back line for Momsky. And so 5 more runes to work with for Bradykin. What more do we have on this turn? Is there a way to answer Kai'Sa?
So in a strange turn of events, Bradykin currently only has 3 cards in hand, which is rather low for Ezreal. That's about to go up by 1 after this Starcrossed is discarded and Ezreal draws 2. There is 2 copies of the list, so you could also activate the legend. It was just interesting that for a brief moment there, Bradykin was at a measly 3.
1-1.
So now we see the Sprite Fountain coming out. Ready Sprite for Bradykin in the base. Where does it go?
Put it here.
Up to that northern battlefield. We'll leave 7 might at the arena's greatest. Another card picked up off that Ezreal legend ability. We pass back over to Momsky. No runes open for Bradykin.
7,
Keep in mind that Rengar Trophy Hunter is still an option in the champ zone for Momsky.
So it's 3.
Yeah.
Double conquer and it's over.
you do still have to deal with the Vex. That's the big hurdle for Momsky right now. What I do find interesting from Bradykin is the Sprite token going over to the Arena's Greatest as opposed to the Fortress. Because if you think this is going to go to time, you want to try to catch up on points so that your opponent can't win by 2. But Bradykin, I think, is properly identifying that overtime doesn't matter.
Pretty sure he wins this one, so.
And you have to make sure that whatever plays Momsky has, they're difficult to go over the top of that Vex on the Greatest. Sprite plus Vex is not enough to account for a punch burst, but I think if Momsky had one, that would have been a windmill slam play here to go into that spot. So instead, we wait to see what Momsky chooses to do. We know there's the Hopeful and Inferna, and I couldn't quite see what the third card was.
Sure.
We are going to see a trade. Kaiser for Vex. What is next? There's the Rengar Trophy Hunter to the Northern Battlefield with the Sprite. Momsky conquering up to 7.
If there's a red pike, oh, it's the Apothecary. Okay, I was gonna say, a red pike would get the job done here because you could pay the 3 and then pay the
Yeah,
5.
like 3 runes up, huh?
Channel 2.
All right, so Bradykin getting another Sprite off the fountain. And has to deal with the Rengar at that Northern Battlefield.
All right, lots of ways to...
Oh, he's got another Vex.
Crossed, I believe, in hand. There's also another Vex Apathetic. So we could see a situation where
Move here, past focus.
the Starcrossed is actually just used on the Sprite token so that you don't have to return anything. And Brady can also, putting this Ezreal out there, I think this is fine because, again, you need to catch up on points if you're worried about things going to overtime.
Flourish on Rengar.
Okay, Deadly Flourish would be
Swing
dealing
here.
3 damage to the Rengar. Now the Sprite moves in, threatening a trade at Arena's Greatest, and the Grim Apothecary coming down with the ambush onto the Arena's Greatest. That's 4 might for the Apothecary off of Pridestalker.
Bradykin has to have some sort of answer for the Apothecary, or else Momsky will just win when it comes back off of the hold. So this might be a forced Starcrossed, or needed to see what was in the hand. Anything like a Stupefy, yep, single Bellows.
There's the Bellows. He's got the answer. The Northern
And then he's going to play
Battlefield
Vex.
play for Momsky, and Vex Apathetic back down on a battlefield for Bradykin. The chosen champ has been used. We're just under 4 minutes to go. Here
Oh,
in
boy.
in Hartford.
All right, this I think has to be for Momsky. Just play as much might as possible and pass. I believe there is only 9 runes available, so that should still be enough for Rengar plus double Hopeful pass, and then just hope that Bradykin cannot answer everything in your base.
2 cards.
2 cards.
It looks like
Oh, just-
double Nox is hopeful.
Just gonna do
Interesting.
save the Rengar. The Rengar being in hand is known information, so
Yeah.
I feel like saving that feels a little awkward, if only because you know that your opponent is playing around it. Perhaps you're saving it in case Bradykin develops something to the Arena's Greatest, and then what you could do is you could run one of the Hopefuls in to the Fortress, clear the Vex, and then ambush the Rengar to the other side.
Replay as
So now the Starcross bouncing a Hopeful and Ezreal. Ezreal coming back out right away. Could go back to that battlefield. That's the contemplation here.
I'll replay it here, sorry.
And that is going to be the call.
Discard draw. I will discard Gust.
Bradykin will pick up another 2 cards after discarding the Gust. Has 5 runes to play with.
Stoop Hopeful. Flourish Hopeful.
Stupefy plus
Hero's Legend.
Deadly Flourish takes out the other.
Oh,
ghosts.
wow.
And we go back over to Momsky with Vex still on the battlefield at 7-4 with 2 minutes on the clock.
This is why I think I would have preferred also just playing that Rengar from hand. I don't think that you can count on Bradykin falling for the bait and putting another unit on the other side. And more importantly, you'd still enter this turn with at least 1 unit up. And if you're not crashing in to get rid of the Vex, which I think would have been valid, at a minimum, sending it to the Greatest draws you a card as well. You don't obviously score the point, but you're low on cards in hand. Giving yourself additional outs, I think, would have been beneficial. So we'll see if the play pattern changes this time around. But last turn, I felt like perhaps Momsky should have just played as much might as possible and said, okay, answer everything. Because now we're back to square one, and as long as that Vex is there, you're out of options that you can do immediately.
That card's so busted.
Vex is such a menace in this format. One of the better units coming out of Unleashed. So difficult to deal with sometimes. Limiting your opponent's options, and it is just going to be another development turn here. All the might with the Rengar Hopeful and the Pit Rookie.
So this is what I would have loved to have seen.
Well, you get it this time, Charmer. It is 1 turn after, but we do see all that might develop. It's Rengar that is buffed. So a total
Hands are shaking a little bit.
13 might on that back line for Momsky, and Bradykin now within 2 points. It's 7-5. With that clock still ticking, closing in on overtime.
Repeat Bellows, 2 damage to each.
Oh, here comes the Bellows Breath. 2 damage to the back line. The Pit Rookie
Hero's
down.
Legend.
Another card off of the Ezreal
Use
Legend.
the Noxus list, -2 the Hopeful.
Here goes Hopeful off of the list.
Still a lot of options available to Bradykin to slow this down.
The Noxus list, replay it as Cat.
Oh, the Pack of
-2.
Wonders getting another list back out, being able to replay it.
That's the same list.
Oh, another Pack
Replay
of Wonders, replay the list
Just turn it.
again.
And that buff from the pit rookie is the only thing keeping this Rengar
Hey,
alive at the moment.
What does he have?
Fizz
Oh, Fizz!
into Stupefy.
Here it comes, Fizz and a Stupefy, and the back line is cleared yet again.
Oh, it's impossible for him right
Bradykin.
now. Pass.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think Brady
Wow.
just realized it's impossible for him to win because the timer ran out, but he can force a draw. Momsky likely does not have an answer for what is on the battlefield, so Bradykin will score that hold point when it comes back.
Well, that's a bummer.
Skyhab once again just has to
You are correct.
develop that Vex continues to be a menace.
There almost certainly is. There might be two. There's one.
And that is a look of out of options on the face of Momsky at the moment. I have definitely been there more times than I would like. Thinking through, is there any way to get this last point? And or is there any way to get rid of what's on the Frozen Fortress? Because that would be another way you could try to secure a win. However, that Fizz in the base also is threatening a conquer point, which would still take Momsky out of that 2-point lead.
I can't hear you. With Fizz, I played the Stupefy. Oh, you're right.
Oh.
You're right. Yeah, and then this. Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
So Judge identifying that the Fizz played the Stupefy, so that was what needed to be recycled, and the Bellows Breath is still in the trash.
This Vex card is
All is
a lot.
good here.
I mean, I think it's just
Quick,
a draw now.
easy fix.
Yeah, Momsky saying, I don't know that I can win. That Vex card is, and then trailed off, and I think we're all thinking the same thing. It is a problem if you are an ambush-based deck.
Go, I guess.
All right, so this is
And
turn two.
Momsky just going to pass
hold
back
to
over to
6.
Bradykin. Holding up to 6
2.
has Fizz in that back line.
Just to confirm, I'm not losing my mind. It is you need to win by 2 points, otherwise it is a draw. Okay. So getting another point doesn't matter.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even if
So we're just
Bradykin
gonna
was running
Put unit
like
there.
ride the wind tricks or things like that, even if
Make you discard
Bradykin
a card.
Bradykin went to the greatest, you can't then like
Make you
ride the wind
discard
back
the
over
other
to
card.
another spot that you're already occupying. So just
And
no way to
pass.
win from here.
All right,
And that is going to do it. Wow.
Second Vex
What
was
a game. And I tell you, it really felt like such a great start for Momsky until that Vex was able to get on the
Yeah,
battlefield and the
seriously, we were informed of
whole complexion of
Yeah.
that game changed.
Well, and specifically,
Freaking
the second
Ezreal
Vex,
players.
I think that Momsky did a great
just
job
curious
of
if
getting
you
rid
were
of
informed of
the first, but
Yeah. They didn't pick an Ezreal.
that second Vex was very problematic, and I really do feel like potentially Momsky had a window where when Bradykin had all of the runes exhausted and you had the option to do the Rengar hopeful, it's not ideal. You don't feel good about that, and I can understand why they chose to just do hopeful,
Yeah.
but I really feel like as long as Vex is on the board and you know in your hand you don't have your challenges, you don't have your natural answer.
Not enough challenges. Not enough challenges. All right. That was Rengar versus Ezreal. I think that's all of them. Oh. Nope.